Oh, this is beautiful. You did really good here.
Yeah, I tried. It took
What's
me a whole like 5 minutes.
color coding as regions?
Yeah,
Okay.
there we go.
All right.
So I figured we could just kind of go top down instead of going player by player. I think it'd be harder to just like snipe what tier we think they are. And instead we should just start from S
Oh
tier
yeah,
and work our way down.
100% start from S tier to D tier. So for anyone who's unfamiliar with the internet, I guess, and tier lists. Basically, tier lists are a great way to rank stuff and do things without actually having to do head-to-head comparisons because you can put people on the same level. So it works from top to bottom, S being top tier, best possible, even better than A, obviously, because that makes sense.
Yes.
A is like very good, but not quite, you know, the best in the world. B
Yeah.
tier is pretty good. Like, and also a lot of times I think you put in B tier like stuff that has the potential
Yeah.
or could be like have the opinion of being better. And then C tier is kind of like, eh, you know, showing some promise, not writing home about it. And D tier is those. I mean, all these guys are obviously still
Yes.
incredible, but not really impressing at the moment.
Yes.
So,
But they would still
you know.
be in our ranking system like a top 50 player.
Yeah. So we are starting with S tier. So these are, there's no rules as to how we could put them all in S tier.
We could. We
We're
won't.
not going to do that,
That would
but
be
we
a
could.
horrible tier list.
um, but these are the best. I don't know how many are going to end up here. We'll see how harsh we're going to be.
Yeah.
Um,
I'll start off.
okay.
Just going down the order a little bit. I'm just gonna
hmm
move Justin up here into the S tier.
Okay. Okay. Let's debate this one. Let's really think about it. No, there's no debate.
Yeah,
Justin has been, over the past couple of years, especially the best player in North America. At times, probably the best player in the world. So no doubts, he's in the S tier.
absolutely. And if anyone is in chat and has some varying opinions, let us know. We may or may not take it into consideration.
Yeah, probably gonna forget to read chat the entire time, but that's fine.
I have it open, so
um, so are we gonna try and like roll through this, like sort of like in order? Or are we just gonna randomly
I
grab
think you
names?
can randomly grab people. I grabbed them because it was at the top, but you can
Okay.
randomly grab.
Yeah. Let's just do it. Top of the head. Monkey Moon. Also in S tier.
There you go. Yeah. No argument there.
Yeah.
Good.
Over the past, I'd say since RLCS X, these are the players who have the best argument for best player in the world.
Maybe if we quick drag in one more, who's put in the name in the ring for that title.
Okay, what you got?
I guess you're on the way. I've dragged First Killer in.
Okay. Yeah. First Killer also S tier, but I feel like if you consider like accolades and winning, that's kind of what puts the other two, I guess, not in a tier above, but sort of like in my mind, sort of separates them just a little bit.
First on they're the first two. These aren't in order per
Mhm.
se, but they're kind of in order.
Yeah.
Let me just do that real quick. All right. I
Who
moved Monkey
else?
Moon in front of Justin.
Who else is in S tier?
What if I did this? What if I made a quick change? I change S tier to S plus, and then I move everything down, getting rid of D tier.
I like that.
That seems more fair. There we go. I feel like S
'Cause
plus could be a small grouping.
who else would you even put on equal footing with these three?
Um, I don't think anyone really.
It's like I think there are players that are equal in talent, or at least close to equal in talent, but I don't think when you sort of like look at the entire picture, which is like, as we always sort of say, like results, um, X factor, and sort of like projection for the future. Um, I don't think there's anyone.
Yeah, I think these are the top three and kind of have been for the last year.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's a lot of players that we're going to get to in the new S tier that are insanely good.
Yeah, I say we start tossing people in S tier, and then we can sort of think about as that goes.
Yeah.
Like, as people start to like rank up against each other, if there are people who can compete.
All right, who do you want to put in first in the S tier?
First in S tier, I mean in S tier, I think there's a lot of gimmies in here.
There's definitely a lot of
when
gimmies.
when you draw the line. I think biggest gimme is Garrett G.
Throw Garrett
Well,
in
not
there.
necessarily biggest gimme, but a big gimme is
Big
Garrett
gimme.
G.
I'm down
Captain
for that.
America.
Captain America. I will go, next, probably pretty obvious choice after his recent performance. I'm going to put Atomic in there.
Okay.
Just want to land. Think he deserves to be S tier.
Yeah, we're getting a little NA focus, so I'll slide
Yeah,
across the pond,
yeah.
put extra up there.
Works for me. And while we're across the pond, I'll grab a quick Vatira.
I knew you were gonna dip your hand in the queso jar.
Oh, I
early.
couldn't decide which one to dip into.
Okay. I think Vatira is a good shout because I'd say across the entirety of Queso's like rise to prominence, he's been absolutely excellent during that entire time. The others are sort of like rise
Yeah.
at times even higher than he has, but I think he's been the most consistent throughout the entire time.
For sure. But definitely need to give some consideration for Rise after the absolutely nutty land he just had.
Yeah, absolutely. Also in S tier, I feel like it's gonna be kind of a hard shout. Like the most difficult thing about G2 is ranking them in comparison to each other.
Yeah.
Because I think I want to put either or Chicago and JNups in there, and then not putting the other one there seems like a crime. I'll go JNups first. If I got Captain America, I got to get Captain Canada in there.
I think after his land performance, he has to be on there. I'm gonna go with a quick Seiko.
I love that pull.
Best player on endpoint, kind of carries the offense for them. Insanely talented. Flip resets everything.
And you see this kind of like everyone else we've put on here has like sort of like a balanced package. Arguably not quite with Atomic, but I'm saying, like in like results, like ability and like X factor. But Seiku's kind of like the first person that sort of like is out of balance with that. And that's where things get exciting.
Yes.
So I think if Seiku's in there, I feel like Joria's has to be too.
I agree. He had a bit of a rough land, but I think the talent that he has is just, it's unmatched when he's on, and I think he deserves to be up there.
Yeah, and it hasn't shown up necessarily in international competition, but Dignitas has arguably been the most consistent team in Europe across both splits. They've been like pretty much like, I think they averaged top 4 or better in the fall, and we're pretty darn close, and only really lost to Queso in the winter. But have had 2 very disappointing land performances, losing to lower seeded European teams.
Yes. I'm gonna grab a quick land mode. Throw land mode up there.
What is it?
Good old beast mode.
You want to put beast mode in S tier?
I do. Did you see him at LAN? Highest rated player. I think he's S tier.
I guess too, if you look at history, he had an insane almost entirety of RLCSX.
He carried Shopify.
Yeah, maybe. It's just like hard because it feels like he sort of like came back out of nowhere because he literally took himself off the map. But I'm not gonna fight that. And if we're talking about like we're bringing in like pure talent players, he's 100% there.
He's only really been eligible to play in one LAN in his entire career, and he got top 6 in it.
Did Dig win a regional in the fall?
No. Queso, BDS, Queso.
Fall.
Oh, fall. Yes, I think so.
Did they win this? Because Endpoint won 2.
Endpoint 1-2. BDS didn't win any of them, so
it pretty much had to be.
Yeah.
I think they might have beaten Vitality in the second one.
Yeah, I think so.
The point I was trying to make is everyone here. Vitality definitely made a finals. That was the only thing that got them into the major. Everyone here has won an event so far. And I think that's still kind of important. Beast mode snatching that last winter regional. It's tough too because I feel like a lot of people who I would have put like who would have been sort of like a shoo-in at this level before this season kind of faded. This split.
Alpha.
Like Envy Boys, Complexity. It's kind of hard. Archie.
Yeah, Archie, Alpha.
Yeah. I kind of want to get one of the SRG guys in here.
You mean the Falcons guys? I was looking at them.
Oh my god, dude. I held it in, but I nearly had a god take last week.
Yeah?
Because what Falcons did in European Fortnite is like Guild were the best team, and they just came in and just bought out all of Guild's players and just like wiped it away. And last week when we were talking about like what could potentially happen, I was like in my head I was thinking, I was like, well, Falcons already have a really good Middle Eastern team. Like it's no way it's gonna be them. It's gonna be like an outside coming in. But I talked myself out of it, and it made too much sense, dude. Those guys are getting the biggest bag ever.
Yeah, is Falcons like a huge org? I don't know a lot about them.
They're not a huge org. They're just like they're like the Man City of esports.
Ah.
They're like Saudi. Yeah.
Yeah.
So like, you know, ethical source of money, maybe not, but hype for those guys because they 100%, if anyone deserves like to be overpaid, it's the SRG guys.
I also saw, I think that they got visas, so they should be set for Worlds.
Yeah. And with all that talk, I'm putting Ahmad in S. Easy.
It's hard to grab out of the middle of there.
Up for debate for the most mechanically gifted and creative player to ever touch the game.
Oof. How large do we want to go with the S tier?
I mean, it's our list.
It is our list. I'm looking at 2 players right now who had insane lands. One's a young stud, 15 years old. The other, not exactly a veteran, not exactly a rookie. Rise and Daniel.
So, are you gonna try and put all of Queso in S tier?
I don't think so. But I would put Rise next. I think Joyo could be an A tier just because he sometimes can disappear a little bit.
So the argument for Rise is he's pretty much always been consistent, and then
Yeah,
had such a crazy LAN.
yeah. He's the glue for arguably the best team in the world.
Yeah. I would be very hesitant to put Daniel in in S tier. But I like Rise there.
Rise going in.
I mean, he had, if Queso win, he's the MVP.
Yeah.
Easy. What do you have, like 54 goals?
So, set the record for most goals in an event.
Yeah, I mean, they played 52 games and he had more than 52 goals. So just absurd. And like you said, even before he was the goal scorer, he was the glue. He always has been, like back when he was barely touching the ball, getting bumps and demos. He's a super smart player. Produced the greatest save in arguably the history of Rocket League. So
yeah.
Daniel,
I think
hasn't won anything.
That's true. I'm fine with that.
And like I love what we've seen. It's been one of the craziest debuts in Rocket League. But I really feel like anyone in this here has to have at least like won an event. Because otherwise you just sort of like get into the pure mechanics debate and you get lost in the sauce.
All right then. I think with that point then, does that round out our S tier?
Player in contention.
All right, hit me with it.
I am big on Yanks, and just because it's not North America or Europe, I think it's kind of slept on. I mean, Furia have won I'd say at least 3 regionals in South America. At both lands, even when Furia didn't do that well, Yanks was 100% the standout player for that team in the fall, and he was 200% the standout player in the winter, literally going toe-to-toe with both G2 and Queso at times, looking like the best player in the field. And I think he's the best player from South America right now.
I already put him up there. Second he said it. You know, they finished the exact same as V1 did at the major, and if I have beast mode on there, I don't think there's any reason that Yanks can't be on there too.
Yeah. Okay. I'm glad. Well, in general, our Rocket League takes a line, but I'm glad.
Yes.
I'm glad you weren't going to fight me on that one because
no.
you couldn't tell I was ready to go to war.
I think I'm good there then.
Let's look through the list.
I feel like S tier really needs to be someone that was at the LAN.
Mm-hmm. And I don't think anyone from I want to make sure we're giving the minor region gods their props, but I don't think anyone from OCE has stood out as much as Yanks or dominated as much as Sandrock and Ahmad.
Yeah, I agree. I only put one player from APAC on the list just to get some.
I don't even have to look to see it's realized.
Yeah. I just wanted a little representation, even if we don't even get him on the list.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't put anyone from SSA because I don't know anyone from SSA.
Yeah, it's the downside to not getting to compete in international competition. Sad.
Yeah. A tier.
A tier.
A tier.
This is where things. Oh, Chicago?
A tier? Or did you want to slide him into S?
Oh, that is brutal. Oh my god. I mean, I don't hate him in A.
First in A.
First in A.
First in the A tier.
A plus. Oh god. It's he's so good and he brings so much value to the teams he's on, but especially in the new League G2, he has not been the superstar.
Yeah.
So it's kind of hard to I don't know if that's gonna sit well, but we'll stand with it.
I'm gonna go. You know, he kind of played a horrible LAN, but he's on possibly the most successful team, or of he's on the most successful team of the last year and a half.
Mm-hmm.
I'm putting Mark by 8 in the A tier.
Put some respect on Mark's name. Kid's a goat.
Dude with
I
the
feel
fro.
like the lad with the fro looks like he's about to cry. I feel like Mark hasn't been himself for most of RLCS 3. And I feel like the vibes for BDS, like when they've been at their worst, like it's not like Mark's fault. I don't know if it's the language barrier, but it's like he sort of seems like out of the loop.
Yeah, I would agree.
But the peaks we saw during RLCSX, he's insane.
Yeah, and
He's
they're still BDS. They're still top 4 every event. They're still fall major winners. Even if they did go out of this major with an absolute whimper.
yeah. Now Whimpers, honestly, like I don't think they made any noise. They just got squashed.
It was bad.
Yeah. So we got Mark in there. I think we're kind of like leaning towards players with the accolades right now, who it feels like wrong to not consider in the highest echelon. I guess I'll just sort of like wear out that exercise, keep the pattern going. I'm gonna put Squishy in A. Still one of the best third men in the world.
Squishy. Mr. Muffins.
Sir Muffins.
Sir Muffins.
I get the feeling we're gonna have a fat A tier.
Yeah, we are. I was just counting how many we put up so far. We're at 17.
Oh god. Too many players.
We might end up with more than 50.
Yeah.
Because I feel like A tiers where you can get to the point where you can put some players who weren't at LAN as well.
Yeah. Might just start like ripping them from the hip.
I'm gonna put Catalysm.
Ooh, I like that a lot. That's a good shout.
Best player on EG. Yeah, best player on EG. EG had a really good LAN for them. Took out Dignitas, only got beat by Queso, which no shame in that.
Mm-hmm. Just gonna get it out of the way now. Daniel.
Yeah,
A-tier.
works for me. You're taking all the NA players. I'll take the EU players.
Alright.
I'll go Joyo.
Mm-hmm. Not NA or E or I don't know what the point I was trying to make. He speaks English. Fever. I want to put here.
Fever. Where's Fever? There he is in the orange.
Renegades have been the best team in OCE this season.
Yes.
And he's the most talented player on that team.
I will counter you with a different minor region. I'm gonna put Turk.
Turk. I like that. I thought you were gonna put Amphis. I was like, oh, man.
No. I love myself some Amphis, but
oh gosh. A tier. So many players.
There's so many players.
Am I wrong to want to put Mist here?
I don't think so. I think Mist could definitely be an A tier.
It kind of like got forgotten because of the fall major performance, but Envy actually had a really good fall.
Yeah.
In terms like their first 3 regionals, they were very solid, and that last, I mean, they gave us one of the best series in all of Rocket League, the 21 game against G2.
Yeah.
And Mist even this season when Envy were doing bad was statistically pounding. I think I want to say he was like top 10 in Octane rating in all 3 regionals. So
I definitely agree Mist should be on there. I'm going to put definitely unbiased opinion. I think Calm deserves A tier.
Ooh. Ooh, I like that.
I think
Is he the best demoer in the world right now?
it's between him and the two space station boys.
Mm-hmm. Hmm. Slightly different question. Is he the best, or even just like one of the best first men in the world?
Like just that hard playing first man.
Mm-hmm.
I think so. Because what other, like, V1 has more, like, defined roles than almost any other team.
Mm-hmm.
I would say I think
There's
Mark's kind of hard first man.
Appjack,
Yeah.
very much so. Um, there aren't many players that like fully lean into it. Um, in theory, sort of like both of the space station, but that
Yeah.
kind of muddles it, and it doesn't feel like there's like a true first man. But
They don't have space station doesn't have positions. Because then are you gonna say that Daniel's third man?
yeah, they're just a really weird team. At times, Atomic is for G2, but he also is everywhere, always. Um, I'd say first killer's kind of like similar to Atomic,
Yeah.
but in terms like players, I think like honestly right now, especially when you consider the major, like afterwards, like in terms of players who like really fully lean into like what that position is, Calm is honestly getting the most value out of it,
Yeah, I would
which is
agree.
crazy to say.
It also is helped by beast mode is just everywhere as well and can cover for him.
Mm-hmm.
Which is why we've seen Calm really come into his own since they've picked up beast mode.
Yeah. Archie.
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 We love some
Which is-
Archie.
We love some Archie, and it's crazy that he's in A because we are massive Archie simps in the Talkin Carball podcast.
We are.
But he was dead.
Get him away from Semper, please.
Yeah, please.
Someone on this top row has to go in. That's sorry, but not Torment.
That's
Either
tough.
I'm thinking AJ or Arsenal. Arsenal was kind of dead though, except for outside of the LAN, but he had such a good LAN. Well, he just had a really good group stage, really. Is that enough to
Yeah.
put him into A tier?
It's like Reddles is like
You know
the
what?
least
I'm gonna-
sexy player in all of Rocket League in the way he plays.
Yeah.
It's
I'm
like all off ball and then just like clean shooting.
I'm throwing Jack in.
That was gonna be one of my picks. I think AJ, right?
Yeah.
Certainly over Typical.
Yes.
But I feel like since Typical has joined and the choking narrative has sort of like come to face, I feel like AJ's kind of been choking more too now. I feel like it's bleeding in, and I'm a little scared. But he did get that big shot against V1, mainly thanks to First Killer. But I think he's A tier, especially in terms of like mechanics.
Yes, I agree. What about a young Shad?
I don't hate that at all.
Doing it?
He still might be the best player from Sam.
Well, yes, I guess from Sam, but not in
Yeah,
Sam.
from Sam. I chose my words.
Yes. So, who else are we looking at here? Obviously, we haven't seen Khaled on LAN. It's hard to kind of place him.
He also has gone perfect in regionals.
Yes, he has. We've kind of eliminated the top row.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have...
It feels weird not to have either Reddles or Arsenal, but it's almost like the fact that there's both of them makes them like worse to rank.
Yeah.
An argument. The second row, an argument could be made for too.
I'm going to move Metza up to the second row because he was only down at the bottom because I forgot to put him in.
Mess is a stud. It feels like a second endpoint player should probably be on the list here at some point.
Yeah. I would lean Wave, I
Mhm.
think.
Yeah, I would not hate Wave in there. I wouldn't even hate Torment in there too, honestly. Um, and like I like the idea of backing players who are like really good at their specific job, and both of those two are. Um, this is kind of wacky, but TRR is insane, and I don't think he's shown enough to be considered A tier, but I think he easily by the end of next season could be considered A tier.
Yeah, I agree. What about like Atomic? EU Atomic.
EU Atomic. I would put Cash before I put EU Atomic.
True. I would agree.
I honestly would like to put Cash in A tier.
Doing it. I forgot about him when I was writing it down. I was like, he could be higher then.
He's had a really good RLCS 3. I feel like even when
Yeah.
Misfits has sort of flumped, he still looked good.
I mean, he was good in RLCS X2. Was the best player on that Rick's team.
Yeah.
Oh. You know, his
Also,
team...
whenever I drink out of my water bottle, it changes my camera lighting. I'm so confused.
Uh,
My whole screen turns like red.
he, you know, didn't do a lot in RLCSX, but that's not really his fault. Putting Alpha in there.
In A?
In A.
Mm-hmm.
And now I've run out of space on my... Our faces are now blocking. Let me just shrink us really quick.
Couldn't you, like, scroll somehow, maybe?
Just gonna shrink us.
Okay.
Or I could... Oh. No one saw that. Or I could put our faces at the bottom.
Mm.
And just cover some people down here.
I trust your judgment.
Putting us at the bottom. Sorry to the... You're gonna stay in the top right.
Okay.
I'll be in the top left. Or bottom right. I mean, I know words. I know how words work.
The exact opposite.
There we go. Let me just move Flame down here. Lion Blaze can go there. Great content. Who else am I blocking? Ivan could slide over. We're just gonna plug some random holes in here. Alright, we're good.
I feel like if you put Alpha in there, that brings Astral into question.
At least Vitality did make the one major, though.
Mm-hmm.
They did horrible at it, but they did make it. And they did... I guess Carmine got... Did they get a top 2 in the fall?
I think they got top 4. I think the best they ever did was top 4.
I just think Alpha has more historical success, right? RLCS X champion?
I mean, Astral was RLCS 9 champion.
True.
And in the end, those two pretty much hold exactly the same weight. They were both regional majors. I like...
Up to you.
It feels so wrong that Astral would be that low.
It does.
Because he's so good.
I'll do it. Throw him in the
Okay.
A.
Yeah.
We made a room in A. We moved our faces to make a room in A tier.
Because then, like, when you get to, like, the super, like, mechanical players without, like, the results to sort of back it up, like, Astral shouldn't be grouped with that. Not only because he's, like, one of the best mechanical players in the world, but he also has won.
Yes.
Over a pretty extended period of time.
So I guess the players under consideration is if we want to sneak them into A would be Space Station Boys, maybe one of the other Furia guys.
Ah, Khaled.
Yeah.
How'd Shock find his way on here?
He was covered by my face, so I moved him up there.
Oh, I see one that I'm surprised you haven't brought up yet.
Who would that be?
Young NA player, who you in particular are a very big believer in.
One LJ?
One LJ.
I was thinking about putting him top of B, but I could see him in A.
Do we want to move on to B and then we can start putting people there? If it feels wrong, we can move them up.
Yeah, I'm down for that.
So B, you want to start with LJ?
Start with LJ, and I'm also gonna throw in Papa Torment.
Papa Torment. You go double, I'll go double.
Yeah.
I want to do Khaled and Kaio.
Khaled, Kaio, the minor region boys. Just to keep some, I'll keep the minor regions going with Amphis and I'll go Atomic. Two minor regions.
Okay.
Yeah. I think he was the best player on that the old Queso team that did so well. And Luminosity is looking good.
Yeah, that's a good shout. We'll keep rolling in doubles. Do I take a break from minor regions or do I double down? Let's take a. I'm gonna go to my favorite minor region and do Scrub and Ivan for two very different reasons.
Works for me.
I've been really impressed with the Scrub sort of like reinvention since joining Dignitas because he for so long was like Team Cancer, and he's really done well to battle that, and I think Ivan is one of the most underrated strikers just out there, period.
I just like how Scrub has embraced being a living meme.
Yeah, that too.
I also like how our first row right now is just old Space Station. And, with that, I think they all deserve to go up together. Typical Reddles Arsenal. All going into B tier together.
Beautiful. Where's AXB?
I can make an AXP card if you want. But he'd be on the S plus tier.
S plus plus. I would like to put CJ and Kami together.
I'll put Kami first, and then CJ.
So I think they're inseparable, and have been crushing it in OCE for so long. CJ being one of the most LAN tenured OCE players, and Kami having more assists in RLCS than Garrett G.
I like that. I'm going to go with two of the most storied players from our friends in Europe. Two of the all-time players, K-Dop and Metsonoris.
Ooh.
What?
For some reason in my head, even though he's not EU anymore, I was thinking Turbo.
I mean, we probably should get Turbo in there, but
yeah, Turbo's next.
All right.
Turbo and
Give me the king.
The king?
I want the king.
Oh, card?
The king card.
King card, let's go. My brain melted there. I was like, what is this meme?
Oh, I don't even know how many people we're at now. This is a 4x9. So that's 36. 35, because minus 1. 38. That's 6. That's 44. We're at 49 right now. So I think we're gonna go over. I think we're gonna go over 50.
We're hitting 100.
Well, we're not hitting 100. I don't even have 100 players here.
We're hitting 100.
I do have over 80. I'm pretty sure.
Where's J. Russ?
Did not put JRS in. Put people who had made most of the regionals, which he does not qualify for.
No. I mean, of regionals that he was playing professional Rocket League for.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
What if I did something? What if I did a quick Rodocin? Or CRR, actually. We mentioned him before. We should probably get CRR in there.
I am of the opinion so I don't think you're going to let me put 2 Williams players in B tier.
No. I mean, if you really want to, I won't fight it.
I personally think Sizen's better than Rodocin.
Alright. I can't tell them the difference.
Sizen goes for more demos, and he's the X factor for Williams. So I think
Which
that
they
needs
need.
to be. That's what you need.
I feel like we need an Itachi in here.
The Toch man.
The Toch man.
Percy?
Or Raise Bowl.
Percy and Raisbull.
Are we putting Percy in B tier?
I mean, he's one of the most clutch players in NA Rocket League, and I think XSET have done well enough. I guess they have not done anywhere near as well enough as Complexity.
No. I just don't know if Percy lines up on the same level as LJ, Reynolds, Arsenal, Cali.
See, I would put Percy very close to LJ, and that's kind of like I think in terms of like upcoming NA talent, or just like sort of like unproven NA talent. Like if you think just sort of like ability without necessarily taking results into consideration, I think Percy is way up there. We'll put on the back burner for now.
I can put him in there. I'm not picky.
We're so discriminatory.
We need teammates in here to just yell at us for our opinions.
Yeah. And get us views.
Certainly would help.
Yeah.
Do we want to put one of the Pioneers boys in here?
I don't really. But if you were, it would probably be Banana Head.
I spelled Banana Head wrong. There we go.
That's honestly better name. The A's keeping him down.
No, then now he has 4 A's. That could be a good B tier.
All right, players that let's go through and see like players that sort of like on, like how we used LJ to sort of draw the line. I'm looking at Hawks.
Yeah.
I'm looking at Aqua.
Yeah.
Um, looking at Realize. I think that's kind of it, honestly.
Yeah.
Metane. Sad RG noises for not even making the list.
On me. RG was supposed to be there. This is great.
Two-thirds is brutal.
RG was supposed to be there.
So going like for like.
There we
So
go.
you compare-
RG's there now.
Okay. You compare like Aqua to LJ and Percy.
I mean, Aqua just does, with only one split, it's hard to put him into beat. Obviously, he has insane amounts of promise.
Mm-hmm. I'm not mad at that.
You've watched more Rogue than I have.
I mean, he's literally insane. Like
He is.
to almost to a problem. He's all over the field. He is disruptive both to and against like Rogue.
I think with that point there where he's disruptive against Rogue, I'm gonna slot him into C1.
Okay. And then like I want to think about like Tox,
Yeah.
like in comparison to like CRR, Sizen, and Ivan.
I could see him on the same tier as those three.
But if you feel like Atomic is the best player on LG,
Yeah. Talks to C.
Tox to C.
We gotta have someone in the C tier. We're already over 50 people.
Yeah.
I'm throwing Banana Head in C as well.
Sad and Knight go there together.
No math. Math haters.
Math hater.
I'm putting AJG in.
Yeah.
And Casio.
Realize.
I'll put Realize in there. Honorable mention. I put Casio in there as well.
Hibsy.
Hibsy have to be together.
Mm-hmm.
Do we put Mr. Peak?
I want to put him in there. We can't make a list without him on there.
Alright, Mr. Peak slides in.
Although it almost feels more disrespectful to put him in our bottom tier than to not include for some reason.
The Jibros. Oh, Ixo as well.
Ixo and Magic Bear, I think, are another pair.
I accidentally deleted Fairy Peak.
whoa.
Magic Bear did have a great regional 3.
Mm-hmm.
Um.
I feel like they're good, like, cross the pond.
Oh, Rosex.
Oh, for sure. Torsos.
Tarsos, I feel like he's kind of falling off, but just historically, I'll slide him in there.
OCE goat.
He is. He's the Garrett of OCE.
Nah, it's CJ. CJ's like the Garrett of OCE. If like Garrett just got really into crack for a year.
Garrett became a clown.
How is that worse? How is that worse? With the guild resurgence, I wouldn't feel bad putting Nolly in there.
Where's Nolly? There he is. Nolly.
I mean, at times last year, he was like a top 5 player in Europe.
Yeah. But I'll put the 2 other Williams boys.
Mm-hmm.
Is that
Matane and Arju?
Matane and Arju? We're just putting teams together now.
Louis P. Vert and Tigre.
I'm putting. No, I'm a Navi hater. You should be lucky they made the list. Steak. I feel like. Do we want steak? Are we anti-steak?
No steak.
What about our season 9 MVP Shock? Or Lion Blaze, actually.
Lion Blaze should. I don't know about Shock.
We got a lot of blue in the C tier.
Yeah. Which I think says more just about EU's depth.
Yeah. It's
not
pretty
like
even
that-
up top, and then...
Yeah, it's not like we were fading EU and putting them low. I just think that there's... But speaking of NA talent, I think Rapid injuries.
Rapid juries. Rapid could be good on XSET.
I'm... Well, they didn't do that well in AAA. Which I just realized there's so much news we're not going to cover this week.
We'll double dip next week.
We'll just have a news week.
I mean, we need content for something.
Yeah. Nah, XSET with Rapid is a very interesting prospect. From what I've heard about Rapid's work ethic, it's going to be interesting to see him integrated into a new team.
Yeah.
Maybe the culture shift will be good. I don't even know who XSET's coach is.
I don't know that many coaches off the top of my head if they're not former players.
Yeah. All right, who are we left with?
We have 3 players from OCE.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think we need Express.
Sad.
Do we want Super Locky or Scrub?
Not really.
Alright, Math or Astromic?
Astromic's an interesting shout.
He's the only one from Era that I put on besides Math. So I guess whoever the third one was, I left off.
Oh god, who was the third? I'd like Astromic there. Era had a good winter too. They were really close to falling.
They were.
So it's not even like they fell off hard. It's just there's only 2 SAM teams and Era's really tough competition.
Alright, that leaves us with Steak, we already said no. Devo, which I don't, it's not season 3 anymore.
Whoa. Disrespect the Devo touch. What about Gim?
We have Toasty and Gimmick, that's what I was about to say.
I think Gimmick, if you compare Oxygen's fall to winter,
I'll slot him in there.
with
I
his
think,
addition,
yeah, I agree.
and like with how okay V1 was last year.
What about your main man, Gyro? Let me do this for you. Just gonna.
Did you put him in?
I'm.
Could you just delete him for me, please?
No, I just made him D tier.
Oh god.
T-Carell, Andy, Tarogo.
It's crazy to think that he was
Shaw
on
Satter
days last year.
Flame.
He's on top 6 in NA. Yeah, I feel like we've made a D tier.
With
But if we
just who's left.
If we make a D tier, there would be like 50 more players in here because
Yeah.
each tier you go down, that's gonna expand.
Yeah.
T-Carell? Doesn't feel great.
It doesn't.
I think this looks pretty good.
This looks good. How many people did we put on here? 3, 8, 14. That's 9. So it would be 23, 32. 5, 10, 11. So that's plus, what is that? 32 plus 22 is 54. Some good content here. 54.
Yep. That's math.
6, 8, 62, 4, 6, 8, 72, 4, 6, 8, 79.
79. All right, we have to put one more player on
Just to see it at top 80.
top 80. Is there anyone that we're forgetting like criminally?
That I just didn't put on the list at all.
Yeah.
I didn't put it extensively go through all the regionals.
Is there anyone like on the bubble scene that's sort of like popping?
Is there someone on who's the best non-Falcons player in Sandrock or in Middle East?
In Middle East? Hawk and OCE.
No. Not
Statistical
putting any other,
anomaly.
not putting any OC people above the two who are at LAN.
We already got Realize on there.
Yeah. I don't want to put Shawset on. I don't want to put any of the Navi boys.
J Russ.
Not putting J. Russ.
Like all the tournaments he's played in, he's been insane.
We have The Rock, T. Corral, Andy. I don't think we need any of the Charlotte Phoenix boys.
Memory.
I didn't even get memory on there.
Yeah, it hasn't
Parth.
really. Blaze.
No.
Wanda Mike.
Oh, a Chronic.
We go Oski just full stop.
Dude, I was watching Johnny did a 1v1, or no, he did a 1v1v1v1v1v1v1, however many that is. I don't remember who won. I don't think it was Oski, but Oski won a 1v4, like no boost. With, it wasn't the highest. There was, I think, 2 players who had made a regional.
Okay.
One was Rise, who's horrible at 1v4. He's gotten last in both ones he's played in.
Musty?
Did you say Musty? Fireburner.
Oh gosh. There's gotta be someone on the bubble. There's just gotta be. One to
Open up
rule them all.
Wikipedia. Wanda Mike.
Tristan.
Tristan's not even on the team.
In terms of graphic design, I think he's S tier.
See, graphic design student.
When he made his leaving EU thing, he's like looking for involvement in organizations for playing, substituting, and graphic design.
We have.
So sad that Panda doesn't even appear.
Heroic didn't make a regional.
Yeah.
Speed. Bluey.
Sad prime noises. Oh
What do you
my
mean?
God. You included all Williams but prime.
What are you talking about? Prime's right there. He's right below
Where is he?
Rodolphin.
Oh. Never mind. I just forgot about prime.
Prime hater over here.
Anyone else from Sam? Math, I guess.
Math is right there.
He's made both on 2 different teams.
He has. Snipes or KV1 would be the only.
Yeah, and I'm much more
Tander.
impressed with. I'm much more impressed with team hopping and making the major. What other players did that? Atomic,
did it. Sipical.
No, he didn't. They didn't make major.
Oh, they didn't make major. You're right. don't think anyone in the EU.
No, because you didn't like change it all.
Yeah, no one.
Fucking boring.
No one in
Fart
EU
region.
changed their roster. Say fart region.
It's like we've already like that's the reason I want to find someone new because we've already ruled out everyone on here.
I'll go math.
Math. I feel good like that. That's a really impressive thing.
Yeah.
Not that like he's like has to carry them because they're insane, but with two 16-year-olds too.
Just looking at all the. There's no one I just randomly forgot, right?
Mm-hmm. This is kind of banging.
Not having steak in there feels weird.
Dude, it's not his fault.
Cuxer.
Because their system sucks, but he's been so bad.
What about Cuxer?
Cux and the boys.
Ryan Growly.
Just one team. Cux and minions.
Cux plus minions. I think this is a good 80. Plus we have a nice little stair step going on here.
We do. Do we move Jan to S plus to perfect the step?
I think I would rather move someone else to S plus and move Jan into their spot.
It's right there.
I'd rather move like Seiko or.
It only makes sense for the last person we put in S to just hop right up.
I think we're good here, and I'm gonna delete the people down here to save their dignity. We can keep the colors.
What was I gonna say? This was such a better exercise than player rankings.
What are you talking about? I'm actually gonna turn this into a list. One by. I'm not gonna. Garrett's gonna be number 4 based on what we have here.
Yeah. Then would Atomic be 5? Is that how this was going?
Yeah, but it's not actually like that. So.
I wonder what. Alright, like what's our EU NA split for S through A?
That I'll count EU. You count NA.
Okay.
$15.
13 NA.
That works for me.
That's fine.
About even in B, and then way more EU and C.
Yeah. The further you go down, the more EU there's gonna be, because they're trash.
Garbage region.
Garbage region. There's definitely potential. I definitely want to do this like, I mean, for sure after the spring. I think it'd be fun to do it before Worlds. But there's so much potential like going into this final split for people to jump categories.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, obviously I'm looking at Khaled as
Yeah.
one of the players who has the highest ups. Been robbed of both lands despite qualifying for both.
I could
think
see
if like Kago, if G2 continue this trend, Kago's 100% going to be A tier, S tier.
I agree. If Vitality turns it around and becomes relevant, I could see Alpha jumping up, or same with like Luminosity. I could see them moving up if they have a good split.
Redosin would definitely hop if Vitality are good again. If Space Station kind of like show, if they continue the trend they sort of set forth, I don't think they're going to do that necessarily. I think we're only going to see this like level when they play on LAN. But if they could translate that to online, I think that Arsenal and Riddles would probably both end up in A tier.
Yeah, I could see that just because I feel like NA is kind of so used to their play style.
Mm-hmm.
They catch the international teams more by surprise.
Yeah, and they're just like easily the most momentum-based team in the world.
But I think this is our tier list.
I think so too. One take, easy. We didn't move anyone.
No. Perfect tier list.
Perfect tier list.
Perfect top 50.
Perfect top 50. Hard cutoff.
Hard cutoff at 50. Definitely didn't add an extra 30 people.
We are ruthless.
Oh my god. Yeah, so this will be, I guess, by this point, you guys already know that it's out as an episode, because if you're hearing it, you've listened to it as an episode.
Twitch chat was popping off the whole time.
Twitch chat said nothing, unsurprisingly. Yeah.
Maybe we'll do more video stuff in the future.
It's good filler content.
Yeah. I mean, there's also no reason for us not to just record us while we record the podcast. Maybe we'll do that.
You want a good recording of me flipping through 800 pages of Wikipedia?
That's exactly what I want to watch. But does that do it?
I think that does it. Here's our list. I will tweet it out maybe tomorrow. You know, gotta give some exclusivity to the people to the person who watched the stream. Actually, it was up to 3 at one point, but yeah. If you want the content first, you gotta come to the stream.
Oh yeah, we're live boys now.
Oh yeah. All right. Well, we'll see you next time. We'll go over news, whatever roster moves happen, whatever roster moves we think should happen. That's about it.
Peace.
See you.